It is March 14th, and it is day 53 of the Trump presidency. And I have to say, I'm a little disoriented because I'm filming the news when it's still light outside, and it's 7 p.m. I'm in Michigan, so it stays light out really late in the summer. But yeah, we had daylight savings this week, and I'm still kind of out of it. I don't know what's going on. Speaking of not knowing what the fuck is going on, I unfortunately told you yesterday that this is what would happen. There was a glimmer of hope today because there was a bunch of Democrats that were pushing back against Chuck Schumer and saying, no, we're not going to pass this fucking bill, but they did. And there were 10 Democrats that voted with Schumer to pass through the GOP spending bill. And I will tell you their names right now. Chuck Schumer, Kirsten Gillibrand, John Fetterman, that fucking asshole, Catherine Cortez Masto, Dick Durbin, Jeanne Shaheen, Maggie Hassan, Brian Schatz, Gary Peters, and Angus King. Yeah, I think they should all be primaried. I think they all need to get out of government. I think, you know what's crazy? The New York Times actually did, I guess, almost like a hit piece, basically saying that Schumer and his little merry band of idiots were trying to make it look like they're fighting back against the GOP, but no, they're not. And they totally called them out about it, which I really appreciate. I think it's really, people are sick of this crap. Like, we're sick of being lied to. We're sick of being used so that they can participate in insider trading, at great cost, not just to us, but to the whole fucking planet. Some of the stuff that, the Trump administration is planning on doing, it could literally do permanent damage to our planet and to humanity. So it's a really big deal. And they're not acting like it. They're wearing pink shirts. So fuck all of those people. And, we're not going to forget this. We're not. In fact, I plan on amplifying all of it and making sure that everyone knows who these people are. The Justice Department searched 2 student apartments at Columbia University late last night as a part of an investigation that they're doing into whether or not Columbia University is hiding illegal immigrants, which are I'm assuming students on student visas that participated in pro-Palestinian protests. I can't, they had a warrant, I guess, so the university had to let them into these students' apartments. No arrests were made. I don't think they found anything. Nothing was confiscated, according to NPR. It's just we're dangerously close to Hitler territory right now. We're getting there, and we're not even getting there slowly. We're getting there pretty fast. So it's pretty scary. Oh no, my microphone. Hold on. I'm just gonna take my mic out. Okay, we're still recording. The mic was getting ready to die, so I'm just gonna record without my mic. It's fine. It's not as I don't like the sound as much. I actually have a much nicer mic that I'll try to work with this weekend. I just gotta get it kind of set up. Anyways, back to the news. This is, again, it feels like a targeted assault on certain people. And I'm sure that they have access to this data, but people that are on student loan repayment plans that are income-based, I don't know if it's all of them, but many of those payment plans have been suspended. And the element on the website for student loans that talks about that is gone now. And the materials that people would need to apply for a an income-based payment plan, it's all been removed. So moving forward, I don't believe that option is going to be available. Again, I think that this is sort of a part of the white supremacist playbook. They're trying to make it so that only certain people can access higher education. And that it just makes it very difficult for, certain groups of people to move up in life, essentially. And that's what they want. They want to keep most people kind of unable to do so, unable to support themselves, or, you know, struggling, so that we're willing to take whatever they're offering us, like shitty jobs, shitty pay, shitty benefits, our kids don't get to go to school, etc., etc. I mean, I don't know if, like, poor white people really understand how much that includes them. Like, you are not a part of the club just because you have white skin. I think a lot of people are going to have some pretty big come to Jesus moments around all of that in the next couple of years, when they realize that, like, this affects you very directly, and there's no real coming back from this once some of the damage has been done here. Like, some of the stuff is going to start to ruin people's lives. It's going to ruin people's credit. It's going to, you know, I don't know. A lot of those people are going to completely default on their loans, and then it's going to destroy the economy even more, right? Anyways, here we are. Again, there's, like, not much that we can do about this from where we're sitting right now. There's just not a way to turn the ship around at this moment. Maybe if this stuff continues, I mean, I know that there's, like, a school of thought, and this actually relates back to, I do not believe that this is what Chuck Schumer's plan was, but it does relate back to Chuck Schumer kind of, like, you know, voting in this GOP spending bill, that there are some people that believe that pushing it through and allowing them to blow the United States up as quickly as possible is what's going to actually pull them back out of office. So I don't know. Again, time will tell what actually happens. But in the meantime, Trump is making speeches, giving speeches to the Justice Department, saying that he is going to expose his enemies. He called them scum, and he's talking very specifically about the criminal cases he faced for the crimes he committed. He's going to be going after people. We knew this. He told us this. And again, I think it starts here and then they work their way down. And how far down they get is, I think, up to time. It's up to fate in some ways. It's up to us and others. Crazy. The parallels between what's happening right now and World War II are insane. And yeah, we didn't learn jack shit, you know? And there are people with a lot of, or who used to maybe have power. There's people speaking out against this, but they are, to some degree, their hands are either tied behind their back or they're being attacked for it, right? So the head of the EPA just came out and said that Trump's planned environmental rollbacks are going to endanger people's lives. Obviously, it's going to cause tremendous growth in our pollution. It's going to put us on a very bad track with climate change. We don't have that much time left to turn climate change around to a point where, like, humans will be able to continue to survive. Like, we don't have time. And they're doing this right now at a very dire point in history. Yeah, and even, I mean, the judges that are ruling against, there was a headline today. Judges that are ruling against Trump are receiving not only death threats, they're receiving threats of impeachment, threats to bomb them, threats to bomb their family. Like, I mean, it's, you know, these people are nuts. They're nuts. And they're it's not just that they're insane, they're also not educated enough to understand, like, the risk that they're taking with their own lives by threatening public officials like that. I mean, I don't have faith that the current administration is going to uphold the laws, but those things it's very illegal. And I don't know, you know, again, it's this, like, teeter-totter between our justice system, our laws, and the Trump administration. And it's just kind of going back and forth. Like, they do something, it's ruled illegal. Then they do something else, it's ruled illegal. And all these, like, there's lawsuits. Every time they lose another lawsuit, they appeal it again. So it's literally going to be just, that administration's going to be tied up in court all 4 years trying to destroy this country. And I don't know what's going to happen. People are really up in arms that today Doge announced that they're going to cut at least 10,000 jobs from the USPS, that they're planning to fire 10,000 people. And again, like, all these people that had these very stable jobs with pensions and, you know, like a very firm, solid career track, the ability to move up and move forward in their career, losing those jobs, like, what does that, you know, if you think about the average spend of an individual household and these people who are participating in our society, who were making money, they probably have families, they're buying groceries, they're buying household items, maybe they're taking vacations, they're et cetera, et cetera. Someone that, for instance, maybe like only has experience in a government agency, like that's their entire career, and then hundreds of thousands of government jobs are eliminated. Obviously, like, those places, like, where do they go from there, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Like, if your whole career experience is for X organization, I mean, I don't know. They're going to have to open their own business or make a, like, hardcore pivot. Opening a business costs money. It requires training. It doesn't happen overnight. You know, we don't have jobs in this country that pay living wages. So those were a lot of the jobs that paid living wages. These companies, like, these government jobs often are known to, like, you know, no one's getting rich, but they were paying them enough to survive, okay? And they're going to lose that. And then there's just hundreds of thousands of people jobless. Now they're going to file unemployment. That actually also, I believe, comes out of tax money, like our tax money. When we have a huge number of people filing unemployment, again, it's a fucking stupid, idiotic nightmare that was inflicted by this administration, and it was totally fucking unnecessary. We had the best economy in the world. Yeah, I don't really give a shit about that, and I understand that a lot of Trump supporters don't understand that the word economy doesn't mean grocery prices, bitch. It doesn't. It's not the same thing. They were talking about the GDP, the NASDAQ, the Dow, the S&P. They're talking about other things when they say economy. But our country was functioning. And what it seems to me that, like, Republicans really don't realize is what they actually want is an increase in wages. They want their dollar to have buying power. We haven't had a true wage increase in like 70 years. And our cost of living has continuously gone up exponentially. The cost for housing, the cost, again, for food, for everything, education, and wages are not keeping up with that because of corporate greed. And somehow Republicans have gotten sucked into this weird cult where they, like, worship the people that are destroying them. And I don't understand it. And by the way, obviously, you know, I am not happy with the Democrats. I am not saying that they're exponentially better. I am simply saying this would not fucking be happening if Kamala Harris was president right now. She was going to give people $50,000 towards the purchase of a new home for a first-time home buyer. I don't know. I don't even want to talk about it because I feel like I got, like, shoved into the wrong fucking dimension, but here we are. Speaking of being shoved into the wrong dimension, Arlington Cemetery, I believe that's in Virginia, the DEI, like, they're using DEI as an excuse to purge the Arlington Cemetery website, which is like a historic Civil War, not relic, obviously, because it's the website, but like it houses information about the Civil War, about the soldiers that fought in the Civil War. It's scrubbing all the information on the website about Black soldiers and female soldiers, which is honestly so pathetic. Like, if you're a white man who is so insecure in this world that you have to pretend like no one else exists, You have to use force and violence and political power to erase our existence. I want them to understand how this ends, because it doesn't end the way they think it does. It really doesn't. At some point, I mean, you can't put the cat back into the bag either. I think that people were so brainwashed through portions of history, and women had so little self-worth because of the way that they were treated, that they did not realize how misguided our society was. But we know now, bitch. And women are disgusted by this shit. So the men that are participating in it are getting left behind. I have been single for most of the last several years, and I can tell you that the majority of men on dating sites are Republicans, which is why I remain single. I will not date a Republican willingly. I've had people lie to me. I've gotten to first dates to be told later that people are Republicans. I've had people lie to me for months about it. They know they have to lie to get women to go out with them, because most women now, yes, of course there are Republican women, and a lot of them are married to Republican men already. For some reason, Republican men are obsessed with liberal women. I don't understand it. Like, why don't you want someone who shares your value system? Because I do not. I put it on my profile. But anyways, I think it's a huge problem in our society right now. Especially younger women do not want to be with a man who doesn't support their right to survive in an emergency in a pregnancy. Why would I want anyone anywhere near me who thinks that I should die if I have a miscarriage? Like, get away from me. And I think that, again, it's all snowballing. We're snowballing in two separate directions. So, like, younger men are getting red-pilled, younger women are repulsed. And it's just... So I don't know what they expect to happen to our society. Even if they literally enslave us, it's not going to last. It never does. It never has in the whole fucking history of humanity. It's just not going to last. So good luck. You can try to end our lives, and you may end many people's lives, but I don't think it's going to get that far. Again, a lot of the countries that have been able to sort of successfully install an authoritarian regime are way fucking smaller than the United States. It's like 9 million people versus 365 million. Like, it's just not happening, man. But, I mean, prove me wrong, right? Go for it. Try. Speaking of God's wrath, winds in North Texas are so insane right now that they're flipping over big rigs. Some of the winds are getting up to like 65 miles an hour. They're at a huge risk of wildfires. I think they're in some sort of like critical watch for the next day or so. But the winds themselves are already doing damage, as I just mentioned. Like, it's literally flipping over, long haul trucks. So, super dangerous. And again, this is climate change shit, dude. Not to say that there was never storms before, but the storms are going to be more frequent. They're going to be more intense. They're going to be weirder. There's going to be weirder weather phenomenon, and it's going to be hard for us to manage all of that. This is a much shorter show. Well, 19 minutes so far, but it's a shorter show than usual, which is fine with me. It just means that there was like less craziness today. The craziness that happened was crazy as usual, and they're big stories and the implications are huge, but there's fewer of them, and I'll take it. This I pulled in here because I think it's just really important to make people aware of. So the Dollar General CEO came out and made a statement that they're looking at the data coming through and that customers are tightening their spending and that they're only buying the essentials even at Dollar General. I think that's really important. There's a lot of people who literally buy their groceries from Dollar General. And when people are only buying like the bare minimum items in that situation, I think that should tell you a lot about not just what's happening right now, but also what's coming. We're not in a good situation financially. And a lot of people are saying that we're already in a recession. I don't understand the earmarkers. You know, how do we know officially, like, what's a recession? What are the signals for an actual depression? I think a depression means typically like a certain percentage of the population has to be unemployed. Well, Trump seems to be getting us there as quickly as humanly possible. But, you know, I mean, I also mentioned in a previous show that Walmart keeps talking about, like, they're releasing some data that higher income shoppers are coming to their store now. So people that make over $100,000 a year are now going to Walmart to get their groceries, and still also just getting the essentials, because people everywhere are tightening their spending. But again, all of this has a snowball effect. People that were going to remodel their homes probably aren't going to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, all these things that, like, people that were going to take vacations, putting money into certain different, you know, budget, like, not budgets, but, like, you know what I'm talking about. Like, you go to a city, you spend money, it goes towards that city. Like, everyone is not doing the things that they would normally do. All the Canadians that were going to come here for a vacation or spend certain parts of the year in their vacation homes, they're all not coming. So all of this stuff has a huge impact on our economy, and we're only, like, we are literally at the very, you know, if we're up, like, on a roller coaster, we're like, we haven't even started yet. We're not even going down the roller coaster yet. So we're gonna have to piece through the impact of everything that's happening for years and years and years. Even if that motherfucker, you know, implodes, disappears in any capacity, a lot of damage has already been done. So if it were to all stop tomorrow, if it were to completely stop and somehow miraculously go back to someone sane in charge, it would already take a lot of time and energy and effort to try to repair the damage. And some of it is already not repairable. Anyways, you know, I'm just planning to, like, go outside and enjoy the weather. It's going to be 75 degrees here on March 15th tomorrow. I can remember in high school, every single year, for some reason, there was always a snowstorm this week. Always. It was almost always on March 13th. That was, like, a really weird day because I had snow days, I think, 3 years in a row on March 13th. So it was, like, this very memorable day because cool things always happened on snow days in high school. And it's going to be 75 tomorrow. Again, global warming doesn't always mean that we have a bunch of days that are 70 degrees in March, but it does always mean erratic weather. That it's going from 9 inches of snow to 75 degrees within 2 weeks, which it literally just did. Anyways, I'll see you guys. I'm done yapping. I'll see you tomorrow. Love you. Hang in there.